What's up, dream trippers? I'm going to the top of the comp plan. Are you coming with me? The mind is, listen to what the Bible says in Hebrews 8:10. I will put my laws into their mind and write them into their hearts. Now catch that. It doesn't say God is going to write it on your circumstances. It says he's going to put it in your mind and write it in your heart. Because transformation becomes permanent when what you believe moves from something you've heard to something that you've internalized. That's identity. You can hear that you're powerful and still feel powerless. You can hear that you're prosperous and still identify with lack. You can hear that you're capable of building a massive organization and still internally see yourself as somebody who is just trying to survive another month. No, the problem isn't always what you know. Sometimes the problem is who you believe you are. And eventually your outside world starts taking instructions from your inside identity. That's why I keep asking, where are the millions hidden? They're hidden in the mind. $1 million earners don't wait for the $1 million to give themselves permission to think like $1 million earners. They become the person first, before the recognition, before the rank, before the big organization, before the deposits. They establish an internal standard. And once something becomes your standard, you stop negotiating with it. You don't need somebody to motivate you to work. You work because that's who you are. You don't need somebody to remind you to follow up. You follow up because that's who you are. You don't need perfect circumstances to stay consistent. Consistency has been a part of your identity. So how do you change your internal identity? Here's what I want you to do today. Create evidence for the new you. Stop trying to convince yourself with words alone. Give your mind proof. If you say I'm disciplined, then before you go to sleep today, do something that requires discipline. If you say I'm a leader, make a leadership decision today. If you say I'm a recruiter, recruit. If you say I'm going to the top of the comp plan, then ask yourself, what would the person at the top of the comp plan do in the next hour? Then go do that. Because every time you behave in alignment with your new identity, you cast a vote for who you are becoming. One call is evidence. One presentation is evidence. One follow-up is evidence. One day where you keep your word to yourself is evidence. Stack enough evidence, and eventually your mind stops saying, I'm trying to become this person. It starts saying, this is just who I am. That's Hebrews 8:10. It gets written into the mind, it gets written into the heart, and eventually you don't have to force the behavior anymore because the behavior is flowing out of the identity. $1 million earners don't spend their lives trying to act like $1 million earners. They establish the identity first, and then their actions have somewhere to come from. So stop asking for your circumstances for permission to become somebody different. When a new identity into your mind, write one. Then give your mind evidence that it's true. Day after day, decision after decision, after action, until the new you doesn't feel new anymore. It just feels like you. I'm going to the top of the comp plan. Are you coming with me? Fix that brain.